He has mounted a moral challenge hurled in the face of Israeli militarism by someone who is making the astounding claim that it is he, not they, that embody authentic Israeli identity. Undoubtedly, Jeff Halper is himself the best source of insight for an understanding of Jeff Halper. His brilliant political memoir, An Israeli in Palestine, brings together his personal journey with his historic role as a leader in the pro-justice legitimacy war being waged so intensely on behalf of the Palestinian people. Jeff's originality and distinctiveness and distinctive role is associated with an uncanny capacity to find concrete means to exhibit his moral outrage, political vision, and critical assessment. Jeff Halper is perhaps best known for his work in opposition to the demolition of Palestinian homes. He explains movingly how his direct experience of the demolition of the home of a Palestinian friend in a setting where Israel made no pretense of a security justification became for him a transformative moment. He understood then and there that such demolitions epitomized the cruelty and intent of Israeli occupation. He went on to resist many future demolitions with his own body, even chaining himself to homes about to be demolished at the hands and taking great risks of abuse and injury at the hands of the Israeli military and administrative authorities that were carrying out these demolitions. He also has led the Israeli Committee Against Home Demolitions, widely admired throughout the world for its bravery and for its solidarity with the Palestinian victims of Israeli abuse. For this work, the name of Jeff Halper is known and revered by every Palestinian living under occupation and helps guard against anti-Israeli resistance taking the virulent form of anti-Semitism. It is clear to all who know Jeff that he is, despite his politics, very much a self-loving Jew, as far removed in identity as possible from the epithet hurled at Jewish warriors for Palestinian justice, that they are self-hating Jews. The other notable tactical move made by Jeff and his activist colleagues is to organize, in the last couple of years, the Free Gaza movement. This initiative has captured the political and moral imagination the world over and involves sending unarmed boats from Cyprus to Gaza, thereby challenging the unlawful siege that Israel has maintained since the middle of 2007. This siege has denied the people of Gaza food, medicine, and fuel in adequate quantities. This siege that has been respected by the United States and by the European Union exhibits, at the very least, the inability and unwillingness of governmental structures, including the United Nations, to protect a vulnerable people facing an unfolding humanitarian catastrophe. In contrast, the Free Gaza movement, by intention and by action, has done what governments and the UN refuse to do. That is, to break the blockade and bring to the people of Gaza symbolic support and some substantive assistance in the form of medical supplies. But more than that, a sense of hope and solidarity. This Free Gaza movement plans to keep sending boats, challenging Israel by a politics of shaming to allow the boats to go through or risk further censure in world public opinion. The reaction of the new Netanyahu government in Israel is not known, But Israel will face a dilemma. Either stop future boats and reinforce the image of state cruelty and criminality, or allow the boats and confirm the suffering of the people of Gaza and highlight the contrast between courageous peace activists and the cowardice of the world's major political actors. Finally, I want to call attention to an important feature in Jeff Halper's assessment of this conflict and in his notable role as a political commentator and analyst. He insists correctly, I believe, that past gestures at peacemaking were doomed to failure because they took no account of respective Israeli and Palestinian claims under international law. I believe this is a crucial point. There will be no peace if Israel continues to insist that negotiations are primarily a bargaining process that takes facts on the ground, including the settlements and the exclusion of Palestinian refugees, as beyond challenge. As Jeff so eloquently argues, and so persuasively, there will be progress toward peace only when the relevance of international law and human rights is at the core of a peace process. Such a shift would fundamentally alter the sense of what a fair outcome would constitute, because it would make clear that on all the contested issues, including territorial boundaries, refugees, settlements, Jerusalem, water rights, that international law and morality are overwhelmingly in support of Palestinian claims. And this commitment to the path of law is also the path to a just peace for the two peoples that have subsequently had that path to peace blocked by power politics that has led nowhere than to escalate the cycles of violence. Let me give Jeff Halper the final say as to his message by quoting his own words, which are at once profoundly challenging, yet ultimately resting on hope for a benevolent Israeli future. And I quote, "Israel, like all colonial regimes who managed in the end to redeem themselves from their oppressive pasts, must traverse a long and painful trail from decolonization through reconciliation to a new form of political life that is just and inclusive of all the country's inhabitants before it can expect to exist in a condition of security and normalization." Thank you very much.